Coming up on this edition of Southwest TV News. St. Joseph's School was one of several school sites closed in Swift Current, with the property and land sold to the city over the past few years. And following numerous public consultations with neighborhood residents, a concept plan is now in place. In the area of healthcare, the demand for more personnel is on the rise. The Montreal Canadiens Alumni were recently in Swift Current to face off against the Swift Current Emergency Services team. Thanks for joining us here today. Concept plans have now been presented to Swift Current City Council on the former St. Joe's School site. We have more in today's top story. St. Joseph's School was one of several school sites closed in Swift Current, with the property and land sold to the city over the past few years. Last fall, demolition crews were on site to finalize the deal and make way for new development. And following numerous public consultations with neighborhood residents, a concept plan is now in place. Mike Beluski of Associated Engineering was on hand in council chambers to present the concept plan, which includes a residential development amidst a park setting. An overall design which city officials say reflects the requests of area residents.
So 34 units in total, with the potential to be bumped up to 37 units. And the housing product would be anything from kind of bungalow units to two-story, depending on what the developer would want to do in the future. As you mentioned, there's no commercial concept at this point. It was identified by the vast majority of participants in our robust process this time around that they didn't really see that as being a good fit in their neighborhood.
Bruce adds the concept plan for the former St. Joseph's School site will now be filed as a living document with the city. And as project developers come forward, discussions will then include rezoning of the area.
With the currently proposed concept, the site would be rezoned to R3, which is high-density residential. However, and this is the most important part of this, it would be part of a contract agreement with the developer. So they would be forced to comply with the current concept plan, and if they wanted to vary or deviate from this plan, then they would be required to re-engage that same public that was good enough to participate in this process through the last year and a bit now.
And with the concept plan for St. Joseph's now in place, the city is also addressing the issues of a number of additional school sites, including St. Pat's, Ashley Park, and Omen.
Yeah, Ashley Park and actually Omen school site will be future projects that we'll be tackling hopefully in this next year. So with the St. Pat's site, the focus was on the redesign of the landscape and offer more park amenities for the residents in that neighborhood. So right now we're engaged in coming up with a final landscape design for that site to accommodate the future soccer pitch and a basketball facility that was identified by the residents as being a real need in that neighborhood.
The city of Swift Current acquired all of the former school sites in the community through negotiations with the Chinook and Holy Trinity school divisions. For over 12 years, Southwest TV News has provided the visuals for the defining moments in our community. Support your community and help us to continue our work. Support our sponsors by watching the ads on YouTube and by clicking the ads on our website. Pennies per click, which will help us continue to bring you the award-winning news coverage you've come to expect from Southwest TV News. The Cypress South region is facing a number of staff vacancies. We find out why in this report. Staffing is an ongoing issue for all businesses, and in the area of healthcare, the demand for more personnel is on the rise. At the recent Cypress Regional Health Authority meeting in Swift Current, interim CEO Larry Elson discussed this dilemma, now occurring within the southwest corner of the province.
A lot of staffing shortages throughout the region. We usually say it's in the rural sites. In Swift Current, we're experiencing several shortages. We got some big challenges ahead of us coming into this summer with people being off on maternity leave, people retiring. We're getting to a point where health providers are hard to find. We can't even get contract nursing in some of our sites because contract nursing is being used by everybody now. So we got to sit down and look at some strategies on how we're going to address these shortages. It's challenging. It really is.
Elson further adds the shortage of healthcare personnel is not unique to the Cypress Health region, but is a problem across the country.
Talking to colleagues in Regina last week, they're experiencing this too. They're having trouble filling vacancies, and we knew this was coming. 20 years ago, we talked about the baby boomers retiring, and I guess we're not prepared.
The Cypress Health region administers healthcare services to approximately 44,000 residents across southwest Saskatchewan, with employment opportunities now available across the region.
Henry Richard, Provo, Russo, all those guys that had played.
He faced off against Rocket Richard.
Rocket Richard, he was the referee for the game.
Our line scored a goal. It was just boom. It was loud.
Yeah, it was a lot of good times.
The Montreal Canadiens alumni were in Swift Current and brought together hockey fans from across the Southwest. Hockey is a favorite pastime for many, and having the chance to meet some of NHL's greatest players of all time is a dream come true for any fan, especially if the Montreal Canadiens are your team. The Montreal Canadiens alumni were recently in Swift Current to face off against the Swift Current Emergency Services team, a charity event which saw proceeds from the evening game going towards the Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame and the Safe Places Initiative. And for lifelong Montreal fans like Larry Johnson and former Mayor Jared Schaefer, the thrill of being a part of the Canadiens lineup behind the bench and on the ice was a dream come true.
I was asked by the committee that I would be if we had we had to go out and get sponsors, and I had a good friend, Barry Cuthbert, that went out and got a bunch of sponsors, and then I was told that I was going to be assistant coach for the Canadian team. So it's kind of an honor, and I'm looking forward to the evening.
This is amazing. The Canadiens really are a first-class organization in how they handle this game and the effort they put in. So just really appreciative. It's an exciting night in our community.
An event which former NHL player Sheldon Kennedy was happy to lace up his skates for with the Swift Current team, while playing against some of his former World Junior teammates like Patrice Brisebois and Stéphane Richer.
I think it's really important to give back, and a lot of times giving back isn't just giving money, it's about giving time. And sometimes we wonder why we're doing what we're doing and why we're giving, but for me it always seems to feel better after you give a little bit. And if I can show up today, I know it means a lot to the city, I know it means a lot to the people.
And as the Montreal Canadiens alumni play over 40 games across Canada throughout the season, the Swift Current stopover was not only a walk down memory lane, but also a way of giving back to their fans.
It is important because you had a chance to meet your fans and the people from the city you're playing, and people are so nice and so kind, and that's the chance to meet them and talk to them, and people ask questions, sign autograph, and it's a good timing and good time to meet the fans, and it's always nice.
Most of us come from small towns. We've all been little. We've all played minor hockey. We've all come across people that needed help, whether it's a community center, whether it's, in this case, the Hockey Hall of Fame. So we understand that it's good to help out and give back at the same time. So it's a privilege for us to get to travel together, hang out together, laugh, and act like a bunch of kids together while helping others. About 3 years ago, I believe we helped raise about $900,000 in playing about 60 games. So when we think about it that way, we feel like we're doing something.
And although the alumni lineup on the ice may span several generations, their love of hockey and for their team is a common bond.
See, it doesn't matter if you play the 80s, the 90s, or year 2000. We used to play with the same team. That's our job. And the guys, they got a lot of story. That means they know some guys, we know some guys, and when you travel and when you play together, it's great.
The final score in the Swift Current charity game was 10-7 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens, leaving lasting memories for those on the ice and in the stands. Market Square is a summer tradition in downtown Swift Current, and organizers are now searching for entertainers, food vendors, and artisans to be part of the excitement for the upcoming season. Contact Marlene today at 750-7888 and spend your Saturdays in downtown Swift Current this summer. Market Square, proudly presented by the City of Swift Current, Standard Motors, Innovation Credit Union, and Southwest TV News. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at southwesttvnews.com. And be sure to follow us on a range of social media. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.